ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread thy name far and wide. Welcome to the Friday scripture class, and today's scripture is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Last In fact, not last week, the last gospel class, we have a wonderful explanation by Swami Vidyanathananji about Sri Ramakrishna and Buddha. There were some question and answers. It was very nice conversation also among the people who are in person here. Because in YouTube, we cannot have question answer. We didn't met that way. It was interesting and interactive. Nice talk. Maharaj is busy today, so he couldn't attend here. So today's class is a regular non-interactive class. So today will be just discourse. Page 406. The chapter is Rules for Householders and Monks. Entry dated March 23, 1884. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room after his midday meal with Rakhal, Ram, and some other devotees. He was not quite well. The injured arm was still bandaged. So, if you remember, the chapter before this was Sri Ramakrishna and his injured arm. He had injury of his arm. He fell down in a spiritual intoxicated state and dislocated his arm about a month ago, more than a month ago, in February. And he used to say how it will be cured. He used to ask whoever came, you see, it hurts, it pains, when it will be cured, like that he used to ask. And this is March 23. If you see the entry in February 21, you'll find Sri Ramakrishna had injured his arm, and he was asking to the people when it will be cured, like a boy, like a little boy, says Master M comments that way. And here that arm is still bandaged. We have to remember that there were no antibiotics that time. So, it took take time to heal all wounds, and when it is broken or dislocation like that, greater time to do. I don't know how much doctors fixed that into the thing. The doctor was shown, but it seems it took longer time, more than 1 month. Of course, fracture always takes about 5 to 6 weeks, even nowadays, to heal up. So it was still, bandage was there, and Sri Ramakrishna was there with the injured arm. But in spite of his illness, his room was a veritable mart of joy, and he the center of it. Devotees thronged there daily to see the master. Spiritual talk went on incessantly, and the very air of the room vibrated with bliss. Sometimes the master would sing the name and glories of God, and sometimes he would go into samadhi. The devotees, being amazed at the ease with which the master freed himself from the consciousness of the body. That was M's first, when he visited first in sometime in February 1882. We know that how he felt. That case still is there. February 1882, now it's 1884 March 2 years after his first visit. And still the same thing. He said, what the bliss here, what joy. It is as if Shukadeva is teaching the Parikshit and others the Bhagavatam, or the joy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Nagar Kirtan. Like that joy I feel here. It is such a spiritual place. His whole life, his whole thought was changed by visiting Sri Ramakrishna that day. A depressed, sad person became enthusiastic, full of love, full of life. It was life transforming experience in one moment for him. And that he feels that how much him can understand the heart, mind of others. You're so intelligent. He feels people throng here. They feel there is a vibration of bliss. Those who come here, they find so much joy. He himself absorbed that joy. And though Sri Ramakrishna was ill, he had pain in his arm, yet he was incessantly with God, always talking about God, being in God. Not only talking, so much absorbed in God. The pain of body just was forgotten. And he used to remain absorbed in God in samadhi, totally. And people, of course, he's the one of them who were amazed to see with what ease and comfort he could just get rid of the body consciousness and go beyond the idea of the body and merge into Bhava Samadhi. That was Sri Ramakrishna, and Yam was surprised to see how a person can detach from the body idea with the like drop of a hat, as it were. Suddenly he was talking this, that, fun. Suddenly he goes into samadhi. Today also during the prayer in the while we're doing prayer, that our daily gospel reading, in that also we read that how he was talking with the pandit, and suddenly he went into samadhi, and that one monk had come, the Vedanti monk, and he was surprised to see someone in samadhi. Before that, he had not seen samadhi. Samadhi means total forgetfulness of the body, of this surroundings, and total absorption in the thought of the divine, in various thoughts, and they used to enjoy. One is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when there is no thought at all. Other is various thought, as Sri Ramakrishna, when he sees about Narendranath's, that there was rishis meditating, and he goes and he sees that the light around the rishis, seven rishis, suddenly becomes transformed into a divine child. That is samadhi, that's bhava samadhi. And that time one cannot think of the body or anything. The mind is fully absorbed in that vision, that thought. And vision continues like something being shown. And it was so profound vision that Sri Ramakrishna saw the child goes to the rishi and clasps his neck from the back, and rishi opens the eyes and smiles. All details Sri Ramakrishna could see about this incident, minutely observing what is happening there. And that boy, divine child, that is the concentrated light, divine light surrounding, and what that divine child, he spoke to the rishi, and how rishi reacted to the, and how smiling, and as if he consented. Rishi doesn't speak anything. The child speaks, I am going there, you will have to come. Rishi doesn't say, oh yes, I will come. And Sri Ramakrishna says, by just seeing the reaction of the rishi and his sweet smile, he could understand that the child, that divine baby, was the object of his meditation that has come true there. So this is all profound in samadhi. It's all in bhava samadhi that Sri Ramakrishna sees. Here also, that Vedantin, he saw Sri Ramakrishna in bhava samadhi, totally detached from the body and surrounding and the people, and totally mind transported to some divine idea, divine thought, divine form. And that Sri Ramakrishna used to go so easily, so quickly, without any effort. As if effort for us, we never experience samadhi. If we want to have our mind little fixed on the form object of our meditation, we have to work so hard. By that also, for a moment or few seconds, mind wants to focus on the object, and we feel that as if we are having in the company of object, where we forget the surrounding. But for how long? But very for a few moments, few seconds, and we have to struggle so hard for that. After you do japam for 1 hour, 1 hour japam, then you are focused on your ishta, and you somehow could feel your ishta leaving ishta there. You forget everything, you forget yourself, and you see the ishta living, presence of ishta there. How much effort? But for Sri Ramakrishna, he also had to do effort, but effort was in reverse direction, to pull the mind back to this world, to his body, to the pain in his body, to the surrounding. That effort he has to do to bring the mind back to the earthly level, to the worldly level, so that he can interact with the people for which was this divine incarnation has been born, to guide and enlighten the people of the world. So that was natural tendency of master to go into samadhi. So that's why they say, M says, people were amazed to see with how what without any hard attempt he can go into samadhi. It is not just meditation; it is samadhi, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So if you read this Raja Yoga, you'll find dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. First, dharana, you have some idea about the object of meditation. Then you meditate, put your mind for a longer time. And samadhi is total absorption in the object of your meditation. So that's Sri Ramakrishna used to experience. And Sri Ramakrishna's room was the vibrated with the joy, full of bliss, full of joy. Sometimes singing the glory of God and always talk about God. It's not the dry talk about God. It's the experience of divine bliss that Sri Ramakrishna had. He used to share that bliss. It is not just talking from the book or reading from the book. It is sharing the experience of divine bliss. So everyone's heart used to be touched, and everyone could feel that bliss a little, whatever they could feel in their heart. So that's why people thronged there, whoever came there. They thronged during his when he was there in his room. Ram. There is talk of Narendra's marrying Mr. R. Mitra's daughter. Narendra has been offered a large dowry. So he brought worldly things. Sri Ramakrishna was talking about God and God's name and so much joy. Somehow Ram is Narendranath's relative. He's the cousin of Narendranath Datta. So somehow somebody was going to say Narendra was very educated, so handsome, singer, everything. He had all the qualities. Nowadays they say if you are IAS officer or your IIT postgraduate like that, they have large dowry because they will get good job and earn a lot of money, and there will be more people. Parents will be like trying to get their daughters married to such a person, so that daughter gets a happy life. Rich person, no dearth of money, so lot of richness, wealth, and they will try to give that some money so that his or their daughter is married to a person who has very bright prospect. Like that was Narendranath. So Narendranath, someone was talking. Now that was the thing. The Ram was concerned. He knew how Sri Ramakrishna loves him, and that was concern for Ram also. Though Ram didn't much believe in monasticism, Ram was a householder, and he thought Sri Ramakrishna. He was like breaking a news to Sri Ramakrishna that see your Naren is now on the path of getting married. You love him so much. For Sri Ramakrishna, it was really an alert. He had the plan. He knows what Narendra had come for. Who is Narendra? He's the rishi. He didn't come just to get married and earn money and live a happy life and like that. His role was so great the Dharma Chakra Parivartana, as they say, Buddha did Dharma Chakra Parivartana. All these incarnations, when they come, they do Dharma Chakra Parivartana. They roll the Dharma Chakra, huge wave of religious transformation comes according to the time, giving the message of spirituality and infusing that spiritual teachings with their own life and their sadhana and their power of divine power from which they have come. Huge plan of God. It's the plan of Divine Mother that Sri Ramakrishna was sent here. Sri Ramakrishna took the incarnation. And the plan is so big that incarnation of God alone cannot do that. There has to be someone, incarnation of God makes the fire. And there has to be someone in which will cook something in that fire and distribute to other to enjoy, to eat that whatever is cooked. So that fire was lit by Sri Ramakrishna. Now, who will cook on that fire? Who will utilize that fire for the joy of others, to show them light, to take others from darkness to light? May the divine lead us from darkness to light. So, darkness to light taking is this: with the time, this darkness comes, and this light is raised, the fire is lit, warmth is made, and that warmth, that fire, that light has to be then um, transmitted, have to be spread to the people by some other person. So that was the role of Narendranath. Sri Ramakrishna knew the role, Ram Datta didn't know the role. Ramakrishna knew Sri Ramakrishna as the incarnation, but he doesn't understand the role of incarnation. That's why when Sri Ramakrishna didn't give much here, the next line says, Master smiling, yes, Narendra may thus become a leader of society or something like that. He will be an outstanding man, whatever career he follows. He had seen in the vision that how great is Sri Ramakrishna compared with that great spiritual leader of his time. Uh, or Keshav Chandra Sen. Sri Ramakrishna says Keshav Chandra Sen is like a fish. Among the fish, Narendra is like the big rohu fish with red eyes. That is very big fish. If others are small lotus flower, Narendra is thousand petal lotus flower. He was a young boy, nothing manifested, but he could predict all those things about Narendra, extraordinary things. Here also he said, whatever he will be the great person. But Sri Ramakrishna knows whatever worldly life Narendra does, whatever he becomes in the worldly life is much less than what he is made for, what he has been brought for. So that was not the thing. So when Sri Ramakrishna here heard this about this Narendra getting married, someone is saying that we'll give so much money, we'll send your son to study in England to have the further higher study. All they were giving this baits, as it were. So that often happens when something great has to be achieved. Before that, all these small obstacles come in the life of everyone. In the life of Buddha, we see before he got that bodhi or enlightenment, how there were Mara was trying him to dissuade from reaching that, and they say Indra himself doesn't like a person to have that glory of God realization or glory of that, because then his own position gets in danger. Buddha is greater than Indra, so Buddha doesn't mean that, but Indra is afraid some human being is doing such a great penance, such a great meritorious act, that maybe he will replace him. There is always danger in Indra is a position, he's not a person. Position in heaven, he is the leader of gods. So anyone who is more meritorious than him may replace him. So he is always scared of his position. It may go. So whenever some human being in the world tries to achieve great work of spirituality, great merit. Indra's asana, they say it shakes and it starts shaking, that it may be dislodged. It's like the political thing, king, no? This all political thing in a position. So what he will do, he has to make his this adversary how to disturb him from that position. So he sends his army to disturb his meditation, disturb his concentration. So what he does, he has some army, it's called Mara in Buddhist literature. Mara came, and there is a fixed type of thing how to elude a person. Like sometimes this you will see people are caught in foreign mission. Some officer will find often saying, "Oh, he started revealing the secret, national secrets to the enemy country, and he got in trap. He was trapped by some sources, by money or otherwise. That interesting people try to utilize in other countries. And what are those traps? One is greed, money. Another is lust. Another is name and fame. Like those things they use. And Indra is also supposed to use all that. So Mara saw that Indra sent Mara, you see this person is going into deep meditation and is a danger for me. So Mara comes, and Mara at first he will like to mm, scare. So a lot of storm, rain, branches breaking, all that. That thing started happening. Buddha was sitting under a bo tree, under a aswatha or people tree, and but the Buddha was not scared at all. But deep branch may fall upon his head, nothing may fall. It doesn't matter. So he was so well established in meditation, deep into meditation. Nothing, storm, huge hurricane, or branches falling, nothing could scare. Then Mara said, "My first trick didn't work. He is very brave. He cannot be scared away." Then he thought he sent some some apsaras dancing and all that. So all they started dancing, music and all that. Buddha was seated in the seat, not a single motion, movement, opening of eyes, no change. Obstacles were all being failed one after another. The Maras, all his force was useless, functionless. And Buddha went deep and deep and deep into Samadhi. And he attained the Bodhi, the enlightenment. And he was there that night of Vaishakha Purnima. And after that, when he comes back, then Mara was failed. But you see, Mara is still trying to put the obstacle, and he comes again to Buddha. And congratulations, Buddha, you did wonderful. You were not scared, you were not deviated from all the things that normal people could be swayed away from spirituality. But you were so strong mentally, so focused on your object that you could attain the thing that people don't attain easily. Very few in thousands of years can attain the state that you have attained. Thank you and congratulations. Now remain in this bliss, and what is there in life? This life is just useless, it's a dream. And then give up the life while remaining in the thought of that Bodhi, in the thought of Nirvana. Congratulations and all that. And then Buddha said, but I want, it is so blissful. I was always curious and wanted to find the way out for the people. It was not for me that I wanted to reach that this level, that whether one can conquer the fear of death and old age and pain of disease, one can conquer or not. Is there a stage that man can overcome all this? I was trying to find, and I find I want to share with the people. I want to teach there is a way out from all this existential suffering. You are being born as a human being doesn't mean you have to suffer all those things, old age, disease, and death. It may it may have no power to give you pain and suffering because of those. You can overcome the pain and suffering born of old age, disease, and death or existential suffering. So I have found that there is a way of bliss untouched by these human problems, this human existence I want to share. Then Mara says, "You have got it. It is such a rare thing. Even if you want to speak to the people, how many will understand? They will all say you are a mad person. They will not listen to you. They will all ill treat you. They will insult you, considering you as mad. Why are you going on that path of telling people? And do you think they will believe? So be quiet. Don't go on that teaching the thing." Mara was still like doing that. Indra's work. Indra tries to put all this in the whirling around and the DG on the things of this glory and charms of this worldliness. And Mara said, "No, my dear friend, I will try to do that." This last instrument of Mara failed. Buddha was in bliss for 7 days. He was walking, he couldn't speak anything. He was just, this was even after the 7 days of this conversation with Mara, when he thought of spreading the message, teaching the people. And then Buddha went to, in search of his friends and disciples who had great regard for Buddha, seeing his austerity, that he was a great person, leadership. Buddha was already a leader. And then he wanted to preach them first. So, where to preach? He thought he didn't know where they had been. So, he went straight to the seat of learning, the center of spirituality, greatest place of pilgrimage, Varanasi, Anandavana. And there was Anandavana. Saranath was a great deer garden that time. And it's called Deer Garden. That was perhaps the center of all spiritual discourses. And there he goes, and he finds that five persons who were with him, they were there. And Buddha saw, oh, they are the old friends of mine. Let me go and teach them. They had practiced so much, they will be able to understand. Let me begin there. He goes there, and this 5% recognized, oh, this is the Buddha who deviated, who ate that payasam given by Sujata, who had deviated from the path of austerity. We will not talk to him. They all five said, we will not talk, we will not get up from the place, we just ignore his presence. He is deviated, he is no more austerity person, no more practicing the meditation and all that. They could not understand the change, transformation of Buddha from Gautama to Buddha. So Buddha comes near. They see his face was shining of like a Brahmagyani. And that glow comes, that aura comes in the person of knowledge, aura of knowledge, wisdom, purity, and love. It makes the whole continence of the person so different. They could not take eyes away from Buddha. Buddha sat and started teaching them. There is dukkha, no doubt, but there is way out of dukkha. I have found, I have experienced. And when one speaks from the strength of experience, that words become very powerful. Nobody can ignore that. And he said, one has to practice this eightfold path, and one can go beyond all existential, human existential suffering that Buddha taught. So here also, Swami Vivekananda meant for great word, like Buddha. People used to see Swami Vivekananda and used to compare him with Buddha. In the West also, Swami Vivekananda also liked Buddha very much. And people saw when he meditated, it was like Buddha, they said. And he had the role like the Buddha to enlighten the humanity. Buddha, what he did, he practiced himself, he got it, he preached in a small circle. World had become now small, world global village, and people could travel from one place to another. World was not only Savasti and Rajagriha and Saranath and Kapilavastu. That was the world of that time. Now the world was US and Canada and England and Japan and China, and all that was the world now. Huge world coming in the grasp of a person. So greater role, and role not only during Swamiji's time, that role, that wave that Swamiji is going to create from the things that he received from Sri Ramakrishna, and has to deluge the whole world with spiritual material. Great role on that Swami Vivekananda, that Narendranath is getting married, and there is dowry given, there is some greed given, some incentive that he will be sent to England to study more higher studies. That time England coming was very rare. He used to need a lot of money. And Sri Ramakrishna didn't want to talk that. He said he's a great, that much greatness again is revealed, and didn't talk. But it is not that Sri Ramakrishna just was very sure that, oh, Naren will be my thing. He has become like that. This Mahamaya, Daivi Hesha Gunamai, Mama Maya Duratya, Sri Ramakrishna himself told him when he was Krishna. and said, Maya is dangerous. What it does to whom we do not know. Someone has been brought with some purpose and he may be deviated. In the Chandi, it is said, even the wise Gyanis can be deviated from the path of righteousness by the power of Mahamaya. Mahamaya is so powerful. Then what does Sri Ramakrishna does? He goes to the Kali temple in the evening alone and says, Mother, what is this I am hearing? Mother, just to ulta palta kore dao. Just make the thing disturb. Don't let this go in the way. Dowry, money, giving into marriage, sending to England. Please change and all disturb all those things. Mother, you are the all maker of everything. All plan. It is not my plan. It is your plan. All will be disturbed by your Maya. So he was reminding mother of Narendranath's thing. So all that didn't work. That didn't work. So many things to come into Sri Ramakrishna. Somebody says, oh, your Naren is so great. You always praise him so much. When he comes, your face changes, your attitude changes, your direction changes. When you were talking to us, Naren came, suddenly you face towards him and start talking to you. So much is your attention to Naren. You know what Naren is doing? He's eating here and there. He's going and talking about that. He's talking, there is no God. This has happened to Naren. Sri Ramakrishna said, keep quiet, not a single word against my Naren. I know who Naren is. All negative things about Naren, when they heard, they ran to Sri Ramakrishna to speak because Sri Ramakrishna said so many things about him. Now, what is he becoming? So we will just, people want to say the negative things. Mostly they enjoy saying negative things. Something happens to that. And particularly those whom someone likes, something negative happens to them. People will be interested in coming to where to say that news. So those who had faith in different way, to them is the first target. I will say to that person. We had been saying praising to that person so they came to criticize Naren to Sri Ramakrishna. Not that Sri Ramakrishna would be happy, but it's a very tasty thing for to criticize about Naren, whom Sri Ramakrishna liked and expressed so much joy and was so seen as if favoring Naren more than others. So they said to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna said, keep quiet. I know who Naren is. Not a single word against him. He was sharp and he rebuked them when they said against Naren. He was sure. But still, Mahamaya's thing is to go to the Divine Mother and say, Mother, ulta palta karo de. Please disturb all this, what I see here, this. And Naren, but also then he thought what to do, mother in distress. But then finally he thought that one day his renunciation had become so much by the influence of Sri Ramakrishna that he wanted to renounce the world, go somewhere and become a monk. That also didn't serve the purpose of Sri Ramakrishna. It has to be Sri Ramakrishna's message has to be carried out by Swami Vivekananda. It is for India and for whole world. And he becomes a monk and realizes God and goes into samadhi. That is not the purpose of Sri Ramakrishna, of Narendranath. So that was also not happy. Naren comes to Sri Ramakrishna and he was full of renunciation, wanted to renounce the world. Then Sri Ramakrishna looked at him and he sang a song, friend, I'm afraid to speak and not afraid to say, lest I miss you, I lose you forever, like that he sang. And they started crying. Narendranath and Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna sang and Narendranath understood that Sri Ramakrishna knows my mind. After that, Sri Ramakrishna knows everything about Narendranath's mind. And then they were crying. And other people were seeing that. So what happened? What happened between you? Why are you crying? Then they said, oh, something already happened between us. You don't need to worry. Then all thing happened. That was the relationship between Sri Ramakrishna and Narendranath. Now this person is seeing Ramdatta, who had great respect for Sri Ramakrishna. One of the first two persons who recognized and proclaimed Sri Ramakrishna as the incarnation of God. Ramdatta was one of them. Another was Girish Ghosh. So Ramdatta himself saying very, very devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. And he's saying Narendra is getting married. So he said that. The master did not much encourage the conversation about Narendra. Again, this was not the path. It was something like criticism, which Narendra was not going to happen. He should not have this path trading. So he didn't encourage talk about Narendra. Master to Ram, well, can you tell me why I become so impatient when I am ill? Sometimes I ask this man and sometimes that man how I may be cured. You see, one must either believe everyone or no one at all. It is God Himself who has become the physicians. Therefore, one must believe all of them. But one cannot have faith in them if one thinks of them as mere men. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to always ask, what will happen to me? So much pain, how will it be cured? He was asking to him like a boy. M also says, like a small boy. Sri Ramakrishna is behaving and asking. And he now talks about the doctor. So, many people say, oh, he didn't like the doctors and lawyers. But what he says about the doctor? Vaidyo Narayana. Doctor himself is a God himself has become doctor. When doctor comes to treat you, you have to have full faith in doctor as if God has come. Narayana. So many people often say in villages and other places, Doctor Sahab, आप तो भगवान हैं, because they help in curing the person. Doctors in their humility say, no, no, हम भगवान नहीं हैं, I'm not God. I just give you medicine, I just treat you. But real treatment is done by God Himself. The healer is God. I just give the medicine. That the doctors in humility will say. But the person should have faith in doctor. If we do something without any faith, even in a doctor, even in a person, then that doesn't work. You take the medicine without having faith. So it is very difficult to healing may be there, but if you do with faith, that there is quick healing. If people have taken sometimes this placebo, as they call it homeopathic language, with faith they do, and it heals. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, if you deny that there is the poison in the snake bite, so there is no effect of that. Even if it is poisonous, sometimes it may happen. Faith has great power. So he said one should have faith in the doctor, because if he's a human being, then he will not have faith. Divine power coming through the doctor, and his experience, he has the skill, he has studied so much. That is the only way you can do. When you are sick, you have to go to doctor. Whatever doctor has prescribed, you have to take that with full faith. And if that heals, it is fine. If that doesn't heal, what you will do? There's nothing you can do. So have full faith in the doctor. Vaidyo Narayana. So God is doctor himself. Doctor is God. It is God himself who has become the physicians. Therefore, one must believe all of them, but one cannot have faith in them if one thinks of them as mere men. So you have to impose divinity in the person that is going to treat you and heal you. So, not that Sri Ramakrishna didn't like the doctors. Sri Ramakrishna didn't like the greed of the doctor. Just for the sake of earning money, they will come to the people, they will do everything. Just and goal is not about treating and healing the people, but goal is how to earn money. They were like robbers robbing the person, getting as much as the money and the person has. Sometimes doctors become so greedy, they want to just snatch and drag, or take out all the money that the person has. So that has been the case. That type of doctor he didn't like. That type of lawyer who are greedy he didn't like. Lawyer may be doing for the justice, helping the people who are in distress. That type of lawyer are the real devotees. There are many lawyers who are devotees, lawyers who are monks in our order. So he has nothing any against any profession, and particularly the medical profession is one of the best profession. Medical, the teacher, the doctors who give knowledge, who heal the people. So there was nothing of that. We have to understand that in the context. Shambhu was fearfully delirious. Dr. Sarvadhikari said that the delirium was due to the strong medicine. Haradhari asked the doctor to feel his pulse. The doctor said, "Let me see your eyes." "Oh, it is an enlargement of the spleen." Haradhari said, "He had nothing of that sort, but Dr. Madhu gives good medicine." So uh, he had no faith in Sarvadhikari, Dr. Sarvadhikari. So, though he said he has some other problems by seeing his eyes, and because he had no faith, he denied. He was not a doctor. Doctors know by seeing the eyes there are so many signs. But Haladhari was egotistic person. And when it is done, he didn't even believe. So Sarvadhikari was a good doctor, but Sri Ramakrishna used to like Dr. Madhu. That when he says, but Dr. Madhu gives good medicines when it heals. Dr. Madhu is real Madhusudana, he used to say to Dr. Madhu. So these are about few doctors and having faith in doctors. Ram. The medicine by itself does no good, though it greatly helps nature. So again, that nature heals itself, and medicine sometimes cures nature. That's Ram was in medical college. He was a chemistry professor, professor of biochemistry in the medical Calcutta Medical College. He knew a lot about medicine. So he says it is the nature which heals. Medicine helps in to boost the nature. So that's what he said. And Sri Ramakrishna has another question for that. Master, if that is so, why does opium cause constipation? This was the thing that was very common in those times. For when there was a diarrhea, at that time water was not clean, and diarrhea was very common because water was polluted. And people to cure, there were no good medicines for cure of diarrhea, and they have found the home remedy, ancestral remedy of having opium to cure the diarrhea. And taking opium, some people became addicted to opium also. And that Sri Ramakrishna said, but opium, if one takes opium, it cures diarrhea. So you say medicine does no effect and it's only nature cures. So he contradicts Sri Ramakrishna actually for conversation. He said that medicine has also some property if it is the right medicine. And also the medicine, the nature also is very important when we have often here now, present time medicine also people say if one has quite seriously ill, and if the person has desire to leave, that person heals. One loses desire to live even, then that person dies, they say. So this desire, this wish, this all, it makes your life more vigorous and it brings you back to life. You'll find, particularly in stroke, some people are cured within few months or in less than 1 year. Those who have tremendous ability to overcome all the things that have been paralyzed, work hard on making the body move, that part move, and they really get cured. They become almost normal. Those who will not do any exercise, no physio, then how will that be cured? That will not be cured. This tremendous will to cure oneself and conquer the nature, that heals quickly when there is a wish to conquer that disease, and the desire to live more longer. That often helps it, they say. Ram referred to Keshav Sen's death. So Keshav Sen had already died. Ram, you were quite right. You said that a gardener uncovers the roots of a good rose plant so that it may absorb the dew and grow stronger and healthier. The words of a holy man have been fulfilled. Master, I don't know about that. I was calculating when I said it. I wasn't calculating when I said it. It is you who say that, Ram. The Brahmos have published something about you in their magazine. So that when Sri Ramakrishna went to see um, our Keshav Sen during his last illness and found that Keshav Sen had become very weak. He had a cancer. He had become very weak, could not walk without support. He came to see Sri Ramakrishna after a long time and holding on the wall. He just walked very difficultly and came to Sri Ramakrishna. And they were together and they didn't speak anything about health of each other. All they spoke about God and spirituality. That was their conversation. And Sri Ramakrishna also didn't say anything, but he said, when there are best thing to be done, then roots are opened out and the dew comes to the root and best flowers come. So it was the last moment and everything had been opened as it were, so that Keshav Sen goes to final journey, great journey he has. Like that thing Sri Ramakrishna might have said, that he endorses, Ram endorses that what you said is came to be true. He couldn't survive, but his last moment was great, that he passed away with all glory of his spiritual life that he was wanted to say. And Sri Ramakrishna said, whatever I had said, I didn't say calculating that he will die and that. Sri Ramakrishna very rarely he calculated. It's not that never he thought of what he's going to say. Once someone had come, Rakhal's father came, and Sri Ramakrishna said so many things about Rakhal. Rakhal is such a good person, he's wonderful, like that. And after his father went very happy, he said to him, how did I say about Rakhal? Wasn't he pleased to see, hear the goodness of his son? So he should be pleased. No, he's living with Sri Ramakrishna. So he said that, yes. So he thought, planned that way. Once he said, he goes there and he said many things of his spirituality. And he says, I never planned what will I speak, but it all came. So that means he used to plan, but not always. There was divine mother behind him. She used to supply what to speak. Like Narendranath, when he came to speak, and ideas finished, one lecture done, second lecture, daytime, evening lecture, what to speak, no idea. Then all thoughts comes, new topic come, new words come, great lecture, one after another. He said, I don't know. There is someone giving me, supplying me. Who was supplying that? Sri Ramakrishna himself was supplying that. And Sri Ramakrishna was supplied by the Divine Mother, Mother Kali. What to speak to which person. That's why his all conversation was so touching, so right, so correct, because it was all Mother's plan. So that's what he says. I had no calculation about that. And when he says Ram says the Brahmos have published something about you in their magazine. Master, published about me? Why? What should they write now? I eat and drink and make merry. I don't know anything else. I once asked Keshav, why have you written about me? He said that it would bring people here. But man cannot teach by his own power. One cannot conquer ignorance without the power of God. Conquering one's own ignorance, and here is conquering the ignorance of others. So Sri Ramakrishna was very confident in that unless there is divine power. He used to say this as chapras. In Bengali, some commandment, some authority. When you once until you have the authority from higher authority, you have the permission from higher authority, nobody will listen to you. And he gave the example of there was a pond and people were making it dirty. And people said, don't make it dirty, clean. Swachh Bharat was not there that time. But Swachh Haldar Pukur was there. People never listened. One day somebody brought one notice and he said, government of this, that there is a commandment that if anybody makes it dirty, then it will be punished. And there was it on the signboard was put. From next day, it was all clean. Nobody dirtied it. Because chapras was there, authority was there. And when the authority comes, then people listen. Like that is the authority for the person. He says to many persons, if you speak without authority, people may come and may listen and may say, oh, what Pandit says, so nice, what wonderful speech, great orator. But that will have zero effect in their life. It will not be life transforming. They will enjoy when they are there, but no effect because there was no chapra, there was no commandment, there was no authority behind that. There was no life changing thing inside that. When life changing thing is there, only then it has the effect upon the other people. That's Sri Ramakrishna said, and that's what he said. Actually, what he did, our Keshav Sen did, was great by Divine Mother's will. That Keshav Sen, he wrote about Sri Ramakrishna in the journal, newspaper called Indian Mirror. And from that, people could know about Sri Ramakrishna and his greatness Otherwise, he was a priest in the temple, did a lot of sadhana, people didn't know. And many English educated people all heard and knew about Sri Ramakrishna from the article written by Keshav Seth, great instrument in making Sri Ramakrishna introduced to the people of Calcutta. So that was a great role. And sometimes he said, oh, he's writing something, oh, he will become famous by that. They're not concerned about that. He was writing article about me. He will become famous. So good write article he wrote, like that thing. So Sri Ramakrishna had no ego of any sort. Someone is writing about me, someone is writing article or book about me. So, but why are they writing? I do nothing like that thing. So no desire to be famous. That was the thing, but desire that everyone should be happy, should be spiritual, should be pure, should be friendly to others. Great desire for that. So that he used to welcome people to come to him and talk to him day and night. This time, he said just after lunch, he didn't even take rest. Generally, he used to take a little nap at after just after meal. So with this, we close today's this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and let us see when Swami Vidyanathanand is free some Friday, then we'll again request him to conduct the class on Friday, Gospel class. So today we close with the closing chants now. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padpadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhur. Good night to everyone.